In this video, I'm going to show you how to construct a dataset from survey responses and how to import the dataset into R for data analysis. So here we have a survey that is done by the Pew Research Center, and it was done in October 2013. The topic was higher education, gender, and work. Basically, they asked American adults how useful was their college, was their graduate school, and how did that prepared them for work or for their job. And they also compared the gender difference in terms of the opinions. And for each question, basically they have what we call the labels here. So you can see here, so for the first question, they ask about their gender, and it's labeled as sex. And we have Q1, that's the first question. So it's about the happiness level of individual in their life. And then they ask about different questions on their education, on their schooling, and on their opinions about their college, and so on and so forth. So when we have the response from each question, for each question from different individuals, we can put all the responses into one spreadsheet. And you can see here, so that's what the spreadsheet will look like. On each row on the spreadsheet, that will be one individual. So here we have a variable called ID, so it tells us which individual it is. And for person 1 here, and we have the whole row as his own response for the whole survey. And each response, the response to each question will be a cell in the row. And then that corresponds to the variable of the column here. And so you can see here, so for sex variable, that'll be corresponding to the sex question. And then his answer is 1. That means he is a male here. And for the first question, his answer is 2. That means he said he was pretty happy in general in his life. So that's how we can input all the responses into a spreadsheet, and then construct the response as a large data set. And have the rows as individuals and the columns as the individual variables or individual questions. After we finish constructing the whole data set, then we can import this file into R for data analysis. Before we can import it, we have to save the file to a particular folder. So if you click on File, and then you can click Save As to save this dataset as a CSV file. So you can put the name, the file name here, and then you can choose the format as CSV. That's comma delimited file. That's a very common data format used in R. So we normally save the file as a CSV file for R data analysis. And then you can choose whatever folder you want to save the file into. So here I have my documents and higher ed project folder. So now you can save it, and because I already saved it, so you can see in my folder that I have this file under documents and higher ed project. So now we're ready to import this data into R for analysis. So let's open R. And the first step to import a dataset is actually to set the folder that we just created as the working directory. So if you go to File in R and click on Change Dir, that means change directory, then you can choose the folder where you just saved the file as the working directory. So I will choose my name and so my documents and higher ed project. So this folder will be my working directory because I saved my dataset into this folder. Normally, we'll create a unique folder for each project we're doing. So all the datasets, all the data files, all the analysis files, all the R output will be saved into this single folder. So now I click OK to choose this folder as a working directory. Then I will open the script editor. So basically that's where I save all the code. I will open a new script, and then I can type in the code here. But because I've already created the script, so I will just open an old script, and that's the higher add art code. So here the first line tells us how to import the dataset. When we import the dataset, we have to create a name for the dataset in R. And here I call that dataset as data. Then I use the read.csv function to import the dataset. And after the read.csv function, I specify the file name. So here I call it higher add 30.csv. That's where we just saved the name that we just saved for the file. And then here I have header equals to true. That means I'm using the first row as the variable name. So you can see in my dataset, higher add 30, I have the first row as the variable names. That's actually the header in the code. So that means header equals to true. That means this line will be imported as the variable name. And then I have sep equals to comma. That means each dataset is actually separated by a comma. That's actually the CSV data format. So we'll specify this to make it clear that each number in the dataset is actually separated by a comma. We can't see this in this Excel spreadsheet, but if you open the dataset in a text document, text editor, then you will see that each of the numbers is actually separated by a comma. So 1, comma 2, 20, 2021, 12, and comma 1. So that's how how R can read each number here. And after we finish this line, so we can highlight after we type in the line in the script editor, then we can highlight this part and right click on it. And if you right click, then you can run this line in R. And now you can see in the console we have this line of code. Normally, if there's no error message, that means this code went through and the data was imported successfully. So if we type in the name in the console, you can see actually we have a bunch of numbers. And R could not show the whole data set like fully here, but you can tell it's already imported into R. So that's how we can construct a data set and import that into R for analysis.